Good morning, students. This is the third part of filtration chapter. So that is the third module for your water supply and treatment engineering. So in the first two parts, we have studied regarding what do you mean by filtration, what are the different types of filtrations, and what are the different materials used for the filtration. Along with that, in part 2, we have studied regarding the slow sand filter along with its different aspects. So now in the third part, we are going to study about the second type of filter, that is rapid gravity filter. So this is developed by Mr. G.W. Fuller in USA during the last decade of the 19th century. This uses coarser sand of effective size around 0.5 mm, and on an average it yields 30 times more than the rate of slow sand filters. Effluent from the clariflocculator can be passed through this, and the treated water will be disinfected before supplying it to the public. So here you can check it out. Since we are going to use more coarser sand, that is the effective size over here is larger when you compare it with the slow sand filter, because of which it actually yields 30 times more than the slow sand filter. So the rate of filtration here is 30 times more than the slow sand filter. Now apart from that, since the rate of filtration is more, obviously the efficiency what we are going to get with this will be less. So because of that reason, so effluent from this clariflocculator, so clariflocculator in the sense what? Sedimentation aided with coagulation. Clariflocculation is a treatment unit what we use for the process of sedimentation aided with coagulation. So effluent from this clariflocculator can be passed through this rapid gravity filter, and then once the effluent of this rapid gravity filter is coming out, so that water is again disinfected before supplying it to the public. So the reason for disinfecting this particular water before supplying it to the public is because here the efficiency of treatment is less. So the bacterial removal percentage in slow sand filter, it is around 98 to 99%, whereas here it is quite less than that. The reason being what? The effective size of that particular material is more, because of that your rate of filtration is more. As and when the rate of filtration is more, your efficiency is going to be down. So because of which what will happen, again I'll repeat, effluent from the clariflocculator can be passed through this particular rapid gravity filter, and then treated water will be disinfected before supplying it to the public. Now, the rapid gravity filter again have the same component what we have discussed for the slow sand filters, but here the specifications will be a bit more changed. Now, this enclosure tank, the first component, so it is again watertight enclosure made up of RCC and rectangle. It is rectangular in shape. Depth of tank may vary from 2.5 meters to 3.5 meters. In order to achieve uniform distribution of water, the surface area is limited to 10 to 80 square meters for each unit. That is, in the previous case for slow sand filters, since we had a very less filtration rate, there this particular value was around 100 to 2500 square meters, whereas over here this particular value is only 10 to 80 square meter for each unit. The reason being what? To have uniform distribution of water, and since the rate of filtration is more, so this uniform distribution is going to play an important role for effective working of a rapid gravity filter. So that's why here the size of these units are quite less when you compare it with the slow sand filters. Now, the number of units required can be estimated through an equation given by Morrell and Wallace, that is N is equals to 1.22 square root of Q, where Q is million liters of water treated per day, that is its treatment capacity. Now, what they what the recommendation of Morrell and Wallace is, there should be at least 2 filter units in any of the plants. The reason for that is, imagine this is the raw water supply, and from here you can give this raw water supply to parallel to particular treatment units. So initially what you will do, you will deviate the water to the one side, and once this particular treatment works, it is going to provide the effluent. But as and when it works, so after a particular time, so this particular unit needs to be treated or else cleaned. The reason for that is formation of these particular flocks or suspended particles, what will be held up over here, that needs to be cleaned. So at that point of time, so this can be stopped and the standby unit can be operated, so that continuously we are going to have the treatment for this particular treatment plant. So that's why there should be at least 2 filters in any of the plants. That is the recommendation what we need to follow. Apart from that, if for plants of more than 9 million liters per day capacity, then no single unit should have capacity more than 1/4 the capacity of the plant. That is, if you have a treatment plant of, let us say, 9 million liters per day capacity, that is, it can treat 9 million liters of water per day, then 1/4 of this is 2.25 is 2.25. So 1/4 of it is 2.25. So you cannot have any of the treatment unit or any of the rapid gravity filter whose capacity will be more than 2.25 million liters per day. It should be always less than that. So if based on that, our particular capacity of each unit can be determined. So again, why this recommendation is provided is, I'll tell you, as and when you try to have more filtration capacity for each of the unit, the difficulty is, as and when the rate of filtration is more, and if you are adding more pressure on that particular treatment units, then obviously first of all the efficiency is quite less. Efficiency over here is quite less. So in that, again, if you try to pressurize these units by increasing the size, okay, if you want more capacity, you will increase the size. So at that time, what will happen? There will not be any uniform distribution over here. Once the uniform distribution is not there, then again the entire working as well as few more additional features what it has compared to the slow sand filters will be again affected. So because of which they usually provide this guideline. Now next is filter media. Filter media consists of sand layers of thickness 60 to 90 centimeters and are placed over the gravel support. So similar to slow sand filter, so here also the thickness is 60 to 90 centimeters and these are placed over the gravel support. The effective size of this sand varies from 0.35 to 0.55 mm and the uniformity coefficient ranges between 1.3 to 1.7. So whereas you can see this effective size of these particular filter media for rapid gravity filters is higher than the slow sand filters. So as and when the size of these particles will increase, again the rate of filtration increases, in turn the efficiency will come down, because of higher sized particles your void size will be more. As and when the void size is more, it is as good as your filtration particular what I can say, the pore size of that particular filter will be more, because of which you are going to get the less efficient water. Now finally, fine sand must be laid at the top obviously, and the coarse sand must be at the bottom. Base material. So this base material, it supports the sand layer on top and distributes the water uniformly. So it is similar to slow sand filter what we have studied. Gravel layer is usually of 60 to 90 centimeters thick, and again it consists of 5 to 6 layers of varying size from 10 to 15 centimeters. The coarsest gravel of size 40 mm is used at the bottom, and the finest gravel size of 3 mm is used at the topmost layer. So with respect to this particular layering system, if I need to explain, imagine this as our rapid gravity filter. So first you have your sand, that is fine material or filter material, then we have your gravel layer or base material. Then we have the under drainage system, what we have. So again, in this particular gravel layer, what we have, or else base material, what we have. So the topmost layer will be of 3 to 6 mm, and the intermediate layers which are going to be there, that will be varying from 12 to 20 mm or 6 to 12 mm, and similarly the bottommost layer is going to be varying from 20 to 40 mm. So based on these, the gradation of the base material is going to be there. Now regarding the under drainage system, so when I compare this with the slow sand filter, so this under drainage system over here has one more major prioritizing work over here. So I'll tell you about that. It needs to collect filtered water, that is first work, and also allow backwashing for clearing of filter media. So basically here the under drainage system actually does three works. So first one is what? To collect water, or else to collect filtered water, sorry for this, filtered water. Second one is it needs to support the base material on top, and third one is it should be accessible, or else it should be capable of even handling the backwashing of water. So even this one new thing which is coming up in the rapid gravity filter, so that is backwashing should be done, or else it should be able to withheld or else withstand this backwashing. Now it should have a capable, sorry, just a minute, yeah. So it should be capable of passing the wash water upwards at a rate of about 300 to 900 liters per minute per square meter of filtration area. So what do I meant by that is, so what do I mean by that is, imagine you have this as the plan of that particular rapid sand filter. So from the bottom, basically again imagine this as a section. So from the bottom we are going through that under drainage system, we usually pass the water at a very high pressure. So at water discharge we usually give it, that is from 300 to 900 liters per minute per square meter of filtration area, what it is saying. So what do I mean by that is, if I have this as, let us say, 5 meter by 5 meter plan is there, then each meter by meter of area what we have, and whatever the drainage system it is going to have underneath. In the next slide we are going to study the drainage system in detail, but usually what it will happen is it will have these laterals, what we call it, and one main line. Okay, so in these particular at the bottom, so imagine this 1 meter by 1 meter area what we have. Okay, and to that, if I want to push the water from this particular under drainage system over this particular filter media, then per square meter of area I want to push up how much? 300 to 900 liters per minute of water. That is, I want to push up 300 to 900 liters per minute of water through the small section of pipe which is available inside this 1 meter by 1 meter area. This is what it means by this entire capacity. Yeah. So types of these under drainage systems. So basically we have this manifold and lateral system, only one system is there, but the same system can be subdivided into perforated pipe type, and one more is pipe and strainer type. So that we are going to study in the next slide. Okay, you can check it out. So this first one is nothing but, so this one is nothing but your manifold and lateral, and this is nothing but what? Perforated pipe type. So similar to the slow sand filter, again we have laterals over here and we have main pipe over here. So again these pipes will be sloped towards the central line, and each central line is again sloped towards any one of the side where effluent is collected. So all these pipes will be perforated, and usually the percentage of perforation on these pipes will be around 25%. That is 25% of the surface area of these pipelines will be perforated. So through these perforations they are going to collect the filtered water, and then that water will be coming to the main line, and from there it is going to get it out, and the distance between each of these will be around 15 to 20 centimeters. Now this is the perforated pipe type system. Now the next what we have is pipe and strainer type system. So again it is similar to this what we have right now, but the only difference here is, so it is as good as if I cut it over here, okay, and if I try to look it at this angle, this is a plan what we are seeing over here for first type of system, whereas this is a section. So if I just cut this and if I try to watch this from this direction, the visually it will be something like this. So you have your main drain over here, you have your laterals over here with a certain slope, that is 1:100 slope what we usually provide, and all these on top material what you are seeing is nothing but the top base material. Along with that, on top you will have the fine sand material. So this is how two sections can be separated over here. So in this what it is going to happen is, you can see this small section which is there. If I just try to enlarge over it, what it will do is, so imagine this as your lateral pipe, okay, and on top of that lateral pipe, instead of these holes what we have provided in the earlier case, so you are going to provide some strainers, or we call it as your traps. So in your bathrooms you might have seen your gully trap. So the perforations what it is going to be there, or else the water outlet which is going to be there. So even here the similar kind of things are going to be there. So these small strainers which are going to be there, so these actually will collect the water, filtered water from the filtering media, and then once the water enters here, and then through this lateral it will enter into the main chamber or else main line, and from there it will be taken out. So this is how the pipe and strainer system works. Other appurtenances. So it includes wash water trough, air compressor, rate controller or else flow rate controller, and head loss indicator. So first thing is regarding the wash water troughs. So what usually happens, what we have discussed in the previous slides are, so I have my sand over here, similarly I have my gravel over here or else base material, then I have my under drainage system. So if you check it out over here, through these under drainage systems we pump the water reverse, okay, for backwashing process. So even we are going to study this backwashing process in detail in the coming slides, but for now in backwashing what we will do is, we will actually reverse the water flow into these drains, and through that drains the water will be actually coming up towards the base material and towards the sand. So once we do that, what actually happens is, it actually disturbs the gravel material as well as sand. So whatever the suspended solids are actually hidden or hindered or settled in these filtering media, so all those materials, because of this reverse pressurized water, will be again coming up, and these entire dirty water or this particular wash water what we call it, will be again collected through a particular surface channels. So these are something called like a V shape which will be there. So as and when this pressure is increased and the water level is increased inside the treatment unit, so the water level will slowly go on increasing. So all this dirty water, once the level will go beyond this particular what I can say wash water troughs, so it will be taken inside this, and these will be running throughout the length of the treatment plant. So basically if I just try to draw the plan over here, so it will be something like this. Whatever these V channels you are seeing over here, so those V channels will be running all along the length of your rapid gravity filter. So this is indicating the bottom shape or as bottom point or bottom line, and these two are indicating the top lines. Okay, so similarly like this, throughout the entire length of the rapid gravity filters you are going to have these particular troughs. So once the water level increases from the bottom, these are going to enter into these channels, and again these can be collected and taken out to the further processing. So this is why we use wash water troughs. Now similarly, the next one is regarding the air compressor. So again, air compressor we usually use for two things. One thing is to pressurize this water for entering into this particular stream. Why we need to pressurize? Because already this is giving us a lot of resistance. So this particular water needs to have more pressure than the resistance provided by these two levers, then only the water will rise up. So based on that, we are going to use this air compressor. Along with that, even few times we can agitate the sand or filter media through this air compressor, because of which there will not be any formation of gas bubbles as we have discussed in the slow sand filters. Now the next one is rate controller or flow rate controller. So again we are going to use few of the notches or wears what you have studied in your previous year. So through that basically you can control the rate of flow inside this, or else you can even measure the rate of flow for these particular units. So these are again quite important to maintain what we call it as surface loading rate. So all these terms basically we will again discuss once we are solving the problems on all the topics what we are covering right now. So this surface loading rate is nothing but one of the important aspect based on which you are actually going to determine what should be the length and breadth of each treatment unit. Yeah, so for all those things this rate of flow or else measurement of rate of flow is very important. So for that is one of the apparatuses. Now the last one is head loss indicator, as we have discussed again in the previous case, that is slow sand filter. So head loss indicator is required to check out what is the resistance or what amount of suspended particles are settled at the filter material. So as and when the increase in resistance will be there from that for that particular flow, automatically this head loss will increase. So if it goes beyond a particular specified limit, then at that time you are going to stop the regular working of this rapid gravity filter. You are going to start with the backwashing. First you are going to clean this entire treatment unit and then again come back to the regular process of treating the water. So again the head loss indicators will be same as what we have discussed in the slow sand filters. So again all these 4 units what we have discussed will be again studied in the or else we'll have one more explanation whenever it comes to the figure of rapid gravity filter.